Hello, class. So today I'm going to walk y'all through how urine is made. And honestly, it's a lot less complicated than it sounds once you actually break it down. But first, let's start with the big picture. So the urinary system includes the kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and the urethra. The kidneys are where all the magic happens. The ureters carry urine to the bladder. The bladder stores all the urine, and the urethra is how it is expelled from the body, or how it exits the body. Now, whenever we zoom into the kidney, each kidney is divided into renal lobes, and we have structures like the renal sinus, which is like the cavity of the kidneys, and then the minor and major calyces, which collect urine, and then these drain into the renal pelvis, which funnels urine into the ureter. Now, we're going to get into the functional unit, the nephron. This is where urine is actually formed. So the blood enters the nephron through the afferent arteriole. Afferent is like entering and efferent is exiting. So it enters through the afferent arteriole and it leaves through the efferent arteriole. I think of efferent like E for exit. In between these arterioles is a capillary network called the glomerulus. Glomerulus. That's a hard word to pronounce, which sits inside the glomerular capsule, which is also known as the Bowman's capsule. And together, these all make up a happy family called the renal corpuscle. And this is where the first step happens in urine formation. It's called glomerular filtration. So basically, pressure forces fluid out of the blood and into the capsule. And this fluid is called filtrate, and it contains things like water, glucose, ions, and waste. But it should not contain proteins or blood cells. And if there is proteins or blood cells, that's when we know something is wrong with our urine. And next, the filtrate moves into the proximal convoluted tubule, where a ton of reabsorption happens. This means useful substances like glucose, amino acids, and water are taken back into the blood, so your body isn't just throwing away important stuff that you need. And then we move into the nephron loop, which is also called the loop of Henle, I think, something like that. The descending limb lets water leave. It concentrates the filtrate, while the ascending limb pumps out sodium, but it doesn't allow water to follow. This helps create a concentration gradient in the kidney. And then after that, the fluid enters the distal convoluted tubule, where more fine-tuning happens. The body adjusts electrolyte levels and pH here. And this is also where secretion happens. Secretion is when substances like hydrogen ions, potassium, or drugs are actively moved from the blood into the tubular fluid. And at this point, the fluid is no longer called filtrate, it's now becoming tubular fluid. And eventually, it turns into urine as it moves into the collecting ducts. Finally, the urine flows into the minor calyces, and then it flows into the major calyces, and then it flows into the renal pelvis, down the ureter, into the bladder, and out through the urethra. So, to summarize, filtration is basically kicking solutes out of the blood. Reabsorption is taking back the important solutes back into the blood. Secretion is flowing all those, this fluid that we just made into the tubule so we can expel it. And that's how your body basically filters your blood and keeps everything balanced. Make sure to drink enough water. We're supposed to expel, I think it was like 2 liters of fluid or something a day. A liter. Let me fact check that. But yes, drink your water, stay hydrated, and that's how urine is formed in your body.